Hey everyone, it's Michelle here and welcome to this week's Mindful Monday video. So this week I want to talk about what story you might be believing. This is something I have been dealing with personally for the past 7 days or so. Lots of stories that are coming up for me, and I thought it might be helpful if that's happening for you to talk about it here today. So what does that mean? Well, if you think about it, we get our energy through our senses, right? So we get information through sound, touch, hearing, sight, taste, right? And based on that energy, we create a thought. And that thought may or may not be a pattern, but if you have a thought, then you might actually continue to have those thoughts. They might turn into your beliefs, right? So if you have certain beliefs, they might turn into the words you use, which then could potentially become the actions you take, which then become habits, right? So if you believe a thought, it could potentially go into a habit, which could potentially become your character and then ultimately your destiny. So one of the things that we can do is we can start to break that down. So if you're having a repeat thought, say it's something about low self-esteem or being in a bad relationship, you're not worthy of love, or I'm never going to feel better, or I'm never going to be loved, or I'm never going to succeed at this job, right? If these are your thoughts, they could potentially become your destiny, because if you continue to think them, you'll believe them. And so one of the things we can do is actually ask ourselves, what story am I believing right now? And it takes some rigor to get behind that, because more likely than not, these thoughts and these stories are habitual and they're pattern thoughts in our brain. But if you can dive in, there's a lot of juice behind there, right? There's a lot of good stuff that you can learn about yourself when you ask, what story am I believing right now? And once you get there, you can say, well, okay, is this story true? And you might need to ask that a few times. Is this story really true? And get behind whether or not it is. And my guess is if you keep asking, is it true? That you're going to realize that, probably not 100% true. And then once you get there, it's like, well, when I believe this thought, what does it feel like on the inside, right? So getting out of your head and going into your body, how old is this thought? How old do you feel when you have this thought or belief? What size is it? What color is it? What are the other feelings that come up around it? And then once you get behind kind of investigating what it looks like and how you feel, you might even want to ask yourself, well, okay, who am I without this thought? Really pay attention to that. That has a lot of power behind it. Byron Katie said that wherever there's anxiety, there's fear. And anywhere there's fear, there's something you're believing, right? There's a story. And when you can ask yourself who you are kind of without that belief, it may just be kind of a glimpse into opening up a possibility that you haven't thought of before, that you haven't experienced. So I know this one was a little bit long and pretty intense for Monday morning, but I hope it helps and I hope it resonates with you. And I'm really happy to talk more about this one. This one's a little intense. So if you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments or shoot me an email at michelle@thepathttoserenity.com and we can dive in a little bit because this is some juicy stuff. Okay, I hope you guys have a really great week and I will definitely talk to you soon. Thanks.